Are you a high ticket coach looking to sign more clients, but you dream of doing it without having to sell yourself on a bunch of sales calls that stress you out and waste a bunch of time? A system that allows you to build the rapport and the trust you need to close a deal, all without that high pressure sales call. I've been a coach for the past 3 years now, and I've worked with over 50 high ticket clients, and I've tried a lot of things to get clients. But recently, I found the secret formula to close these deals in the DMs without taking any sales calls. So basically, you can make more money on the DMs. I like to call this inbox income. It's the same process I did to close 3 different 6K coaching clients, which is almost $20,000. And the first time I actually spoke to them was on the onboarding call, which felt pretty cool. So in this video, I'll break down what you need to do to get the same results with your marketing, the DM conversation, and your pitch. And I always thought that sales calls were necessary if I wanted to close high ticket deals, but I was wrong. So back in 2023, I was booking as many calls as possible because I figured that if I talked to more people, I would close more deals. So we were booking over 100 a month, and I was spending close to 30 hours every single week hopping on sales calls, but most of the calls were with broke people that were not the right fit for my program, so I was wasting a lot of time. Next, we ended up qualifying all these calls so that I would narrow my focus on only the best ones, but I still had a lot of stress about the process. I didn't feel very comfortable having to pitch myself and push my program, so eventually we started to present the offer directly in the DMs by presenting everything else beforehand. And when the first person bought into my program for $6,400, my entire mindset shifted. I realized that if I did everything else correctly, they wouldn't need this face-to-face. I could close the deal, save myself all that time hopping on sales calls and all that stress, still make some money. So I want to show you exactly how this is possible by breaking everything down. So the first important piece here is your marketing. We're basically going to warm up your prospects, build a lot of authority and trust before we start the sales conversation. So to do this, we need 2 different factors. And the first one is based on Google's study. So they collected over 1 billion pieces of information on buyers to understand what it takes to take someone from cold audience that doesn't know you all the way to paying customer. And what they found is that it takes 7-11-4. So 7 hours of content, over 11 touch points, over 4 different platforms. So basically, we need to really nurture our leads by providing a lot of value through a lot of content. So how do we accomplish this? Well, for one, we need to be on 4 different methods. So this could be your IG, could be YouTube, email, and potentially having some kind of a mix of lead magnets, for example. That's 4 different platforms. And then you want to have 11 touch points. So 11 touch points could simply be 11 different videos, or 11 different times speaking with you, or 11 different emails. So it's actually relatively easy to hit that one. But then we need to have 7 hours of content. So to hit this one, you need to have really great content that's very bingeable. So that's why I like to add YouTube to my funnel, because YouTube allows my leads to spend a lot more time with me. So this compares a lot to IG, which is great to attract leads and get them into your world, but it's very hard to spend 7 hours looking at a bunch of reels or going through a lot of posts. So we need to have the right system in place to binge and also go through a lot of different pieces. The second factor here is going to be the 3 factors of persuasion. So we want to build trust and likability when it comes to your prospects. So we can do this by building up trust factors based on the 3 factors of persuasion by Aristotle. So he talks about ethos, pathos, and logos. So ethos is you, so trusting the messenger. So do they like who you are, your values, your beliefs, and how you see the world? Pathos is connecting with them. So do you understand them? So understanding their challenges, their pain points, what are they stressed out about? And then also relaying that to their dream outcome. So what do they actually want to accomplish, and how do they want to get there? And finally, it's a logos. So this is a logical side of the brain. This is more about the details of your program. So how much does it cost? How do you deliver? Is it group or one-on-one? What are the different resources that you have inside of your program? And so basically, within your content, you want to make it very bingeable. You want multiple different touch points. You want to hit them on 4 different platforms. And you also want to make sure that you build massive trust on the 3 factors of persuasion. So next we have the DM conversation. The goal here is to build rapport, build trust, and make it a personalized experience. So you ideally want to start these with inbound messages. You can accomplish this by having CTAs inside of your posts, your reels, or on your stories. So people will be reaching out to you to get access to some kind of free resource, for example. and then you can start the conversation. So once you have the conversation, here you basically want to start by establishing rapport. So you can ask them questions about what they're currently struggling with right now, what's their dream outcome. As you have this conversation, you want to build authority by basically talking about how you were able to overcome these challenges yourself. And then you move the conversation closer to the actual sales pitch itself by basically creating that bridge between where they're at right now, how you were able to accomplish their dream outcome, and how your program could help them also achieve it. You can structure these DM conversations, you can have an entire script if you want to, but I prefer to have these a little bit more natural. I'm really having no pressure whatsoever. I'm here to offer help if they ask me questions, and I'm guiding them towards that sales conversation, but I'm also allowing them to ask me about the program when they feel ready. It's just like a sales call close. Whenever you're on a sales call, ideally the prospect is the one asking you about the price, but in this case, all we're doing is basically bridging that gap. We're trying to encourage them to see us as that authority that can help. And then when they feel ready, they'll start to ask us about our program. And finally, it's the pitch itself. So when someone starts to ask you about your program, what do? Well, we don't want to book that sales call, right? But we still need to provide them with the information that pertains to your program. So we can do this by having a one-pager. So a one-pager is basically going to have the entire sales conversation on a sales page. So on the sales page, you want to start by basically establishing who this is for, what's the goal, and then relaying it to your own story as well. So what were the challenges that you were going through, that they're likely going through, and how you overcame them. And then you break down your program. So what can they expect when it comes to resources and delivery? And finally, the price. So the price itself, how much does it cost? And do you offer weekly or monthly payment plans? So that's the one pager itself. And the other tip here is basically making this a low barrier of entry. So I prefer to have weekly payment plans because this allows me to still collect all the cash that we want, but for the person to start, it might just be a couple $100s. So this allows it to be very easy for someone to might as well just get started, and all they have to do is pay us between $300 to $500 for their first weekly payment, and then we're off to the races. So you can basically package everything together just by sending them out this resource. And then at the very bottom, it might ask them for a keyword. So if they're ready to get started, they just send you the keyword, and then now you just send them the payment plan, and that's it. But that's basically it. You can actually transform your business and start to close deals in the DMs while making a lot more money and forget those sales calls. So to get started, you wanna make sure that your content is very bingeable. They see you a lot by having the different touch points over the different platforms. While they see your content, you wanna be building trust on you, on understanding them, and also your process. And then whenever they reach out to you and start a conversation, you want to build rapport, you want to make it personalized, and you want to guide them towards that sales process. And then when you actually get the ask about your program, be sure to have a very well put together one pager that breaks everything down with that weekly payment plan that makes it very easy for them to get started. But if you have any questions, be sure to comment down below and subscribe so you can see more videos just like this one. And if you want our help to implement this inside of your own business, be sure to check out the pinned video on my channel. You can see everything when it comes to what we do.